Hi everyone, in today's video I do want to share with you guys our kindergarten curriculum picks as well as some of the resources that we're using to supplement certain subjects. We did go with a literature-based curriculum, which is why you see a good stack of books here and there. We also do have a variety of resources to supplement things like science, math, and learning how to read. Before we get into it, I do want to share with you guys our kindergarten course of study. For math, we are using Math with Confidence and we are supplementing with a few workbooks as well as our subitizing cards. For language arts, we are using Build Your Library Level 0 as well as Logic of English Foundations A and B and Teach Your Child How to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. We do have a lot of things to supplement reading and writing, but I'll go ahead and go over that another day. For social studies and science, we are using Build Your Library Level 0, and for science, we are supplementing with The Good and the Beautiful, Fields and Flowers. For art, we are using Artistic Pursuits Book 1, as well as a book from Build Your Library Level 0. We're also supplementing our handwriting with Doodles Help Handwriting for both uppercase and lowercase letters. For physical education, we do have a few yoga and physical education cards that we'd like to bring out. For health, we are using Studies Weekly, Wellbeing, Pre-K to Kinder. Elective-wise, we do have our Brain Quest Kindergarten Deck, Learning Journals, Morning Menu, as well as our Complete Spanish Workbook for kids. So Build Your Library is a literature-based curriculum. It pretty much covers geography, tales, literature, as well as science, poetry, and art. I do want to start off with our math curriculum. We are using kindergarten math with confidence. This is the student workbook and we're pretty much like more than halfway done with it. It's a cute little workbook. You pretty much do like a page a day, and the way I'm like keeping it organized is by having like a little bookmark in here. But this is great if you're looking for like a play-based math curriculum. The teacher manual, it's not complicated to read. You have like the teacher answers in here as well as like any prompts, visuals, things like that. I do feel that this curriculum was a great choice just because it's play-based, and we did use her preschool math at home curriculum, which I just absolutely fell in love with. I did get two workbooks recently to kind of like supplement our math. I did get the preschool math workbook as well as the kindergarten math workbook. I got these just because I feel like we're going to need some extra, worksheets, resources for like addition and subtraction. So that's like the main reason I got these, not for like the tracing or anything like that. And I still got the preschool one as well because I know towards the end it has like super simple addition and subtraction problems with like pictures, and I felt like it would just be a great place to kind of like start and figure out where he's at before I like jump him into this workbook. Now let's get into our language arts, phonics, resources, as well as the curriculum we're using. I do want to start off with our Bob books. I'm pretty sure you guys have like all seen these before. This one is actually like the set 1 beginning readers, and I honestly feel like it's the only one we're gonna need just because we have so many different books. And I feel like the other set that I got that teaches you how to read as well, it's like a little more advanced than this, so I feel like we're ready to move on to that one. This is really great because at the beginning of each book you end up kind of like learning the sounds that you're going to need to read the book. There's like the same color scheme throughout the whole book, and it's just kind of like rhyming or just teaching you short sentences. And by the end of each one, your child is like reading, like legit reading, having that little confidence. Right now we're working on like number 10, 11, and 12, and then we're going to repeat it again because we've just been repeating it over and over again. But if you want to see like the first book, it's a super simple read. Again, it teaches you the sounds that you're going to be using for the book, and the first ones are just super simple words. One word, two word sentences, and it's just super simple. Something else that I would definitely recommend is these Learn to Read Phonics flashcards. These have been amazing. It comes in 4 different sets. This is set 1. This one is set 2. We're currently working on set 3, and this is like set 4. And pretty much what I like to do is every day we go over the sound that it's going to make. We read them together. Either I read it first, or if he knows what it is, he'll read it and then I repeat after him. And then we're now at the point where I get him to read the sentence by himself. If not, I read it and he just repeats it after me. And we go over these, I believe, one of these every day, like 4 times a week. So, and then on Fridays, we end up reviewing everything. So 1, 2, 3, 4, we'll review on Friday. And it's just a great way to kind of like learn the word, the sound, other words that make that sound, as well as have like the visual here for you. With these, I do like to repeat the whole deck twice before moving on to the next one. So that is something that I do like to do. Next is going to be our Brain Quest smart cards. These we do like 3 to 5 of them every Friday. We just started deck 2 because first semester we did deck 1. So I don't think, oh yeah, I do have it here. So last Friday we just started school again. So we did all of these on one page. You have questions and in the back you have answers. And we did like a good handful of these. This also like reviews numbers and I believe letters. So you'll review numbers, letters, stuff like that. So this is just great to kind of like cover things that you might not actually be covering in your curriculum, but things that every kindergartner is supposedly supposed to know. This is another supplement that you guys should look into if it's something you might be interested in. We did start this. We did this 3 times. So pre-K, we did this 2 times, but first semester of pre-K, we just repeated the first 10 or 15 lessons. And then second semester of pre-K, we repeated the first 10, 15 lessons, just because that's how far he was kind of like able to go before I saw we were struggling. So we just went over the initial sounds over and over again. And then eventually, I believe over summer, we gave it a try one more time. 3rd time's a charm, right? And it actually clicked for him. And we have been working on this since summer, working through it. Summer, we did it like a few times a week, but now that school started again, we're doing it like twice a week. And let me see, he's actually like right here. So yesterday he ended up like reading all of this by himself. You do like the first reading and then the second reading you have to like answer questions. So eventually it gets to that point, but you review like some sounds. It has like funny words, funny letters. So you're kind of like able to learn things a certain way to kind of like make it easier for them to remember. So this, I do like it because of the funny font. It was just a great visual aid for my little one. Now let's get into our logic of English. So we did do Foundations A the first semester of kindergarten, and pretty much this is it. It comes with like the Doodling Dragons sound book, as well as the workbook, and I believe the teacher's manual. So inside this Doodling Dragons sound book, you're just gonna have all the sounds that each letter makes from A to Z. And that's pretty much what you're going to be focusing on the first semester with this. This is how the inside of Foundations A looks like. It's pretty much just super simple things. You do get a focus on writing the lowercase letters. I like it because it was super simple. You just did like 1, 2, or 3 pages for each lesson, and the pictures are big, they're great, simple words. And at the end, you were kind of like creating your own booklets. You were like ripping them out from over here, and you ended up creating your own books that the kids would like put together and read. Foundations A, I feel like all the foundations that I've had so far, A and B, it looks intimidating, but really it's not. And once you actually get the hang of it, you'll fly by the lesson so quickly. Like you're reviewing something, then teaching them how to write a letter, and then doing a spelling test, and literally that's it. So it's just up to you and how your brain works, but that's kind of like how my brain sums it up. And then for Logic of English Foundations B, we are working on like the different sounds, like the TH, the CK, the E. So that's what this book is going to be focusing on. And we're learning a new sound like every few lessons. Foundations B, it's the same thing. You are learning how to write the uppercase letters. You're also like reading things. I feel like this is just going to be a great curriculum to just move forward with, because I really like all the reviews and everything that I've read about it. Same thing with Foundations B. It looks intimidating, but it's not. just because all these extra like bubbles that you have in there, they're just different ideas like multi-sensory fun or a teacher tip or do this, try that, you know, or like here's a teacher tip, multi-sensory fun, just stuff like that. But you're pretty much learning how to write the uppercase letters, continuing with spelling and just working on like grammar and things like that. But I'm excited to go through this with him. We're liking the first few lessons and it's just been a hit, especially because he was a late talker. That's the reason why I leaned more towards this curriculum versus the other ones. Since we are talking about, you know, our language arts, English curriculum, I do want to jump into the book list for Build Your Library. This is pretty much all the literature books that we're going to be reading throughout the year with my kindergartner. It is organized by continent that we are visiting because we are like traveling the world through literature. So a lot of these are either like North America, South America. Right now we're learning about Europe. So we're reading stuff like this, which is amazing. It's a cute little read. We do have some great chapter books. This one, my little one, both of them were obsessed with it. So this is just a great selection of books if you are into literature and just building that love for reading with your little ones. I do want to share with you guys the book that we are using for tales. This is A World Full of Animal Stories, 50 folk tales and legends from around the world. And this is actually a beautiful, beautiful read. The stories, the illustrations, everything. It's either like 1 to 3 pages, and it does go depending on like Europe or South America. For poetry, we are using the Book of Animal Poetry through National Geographic. We're just jumping around here and there, learning about all the different animals. I love the big, beautiful illustrations. We just read about blue jays yesterday, and we found a blue jay in our backyard. So this was just a great time for this to like pop up. And you just get to go through all the animals. Some pages are 1 page. Others are 2 pages, but they're big, beautiful illustrations. So that's what we're using for poetry as well as tales. So Build Your Library does come with a book for art. Since we are traveling the world through literature, it decided to have us get global art. This is pretty much a mixture of like activities throughout the world. A lot of them you can just like make yourself. It's either like clay, coloring, crafting. This is just a really great way to kind of like learn a little bit about the world and just recreate the things that others were like doing themselves, you know. Although this is a great art book that pretty much has like activities and projects from around the world, I did decide to go with artistic pursuits this second semester. This is a 30-week lesson plan, but we're pretty much, instead of doing it once a week to fill all 36 lessons, we're doing it twice a week to make sure we finish it before the end of the year. My son loves to draw, so he does not mind doing 2 lessons a week. He asked me for another one, and I'm like, no, we're going to continue with just 2. But this is a beautiful curriculum. I really enjoyed it last year when we did it for 7th grade with my middle schooler, and now we're starting the kindergarten one. So this is just going to be super fun. If you guys have seen any of my shorts, you guys are going to see that he already completed the first lesson, and it just came out beautiful, 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 beautiful. Now let's get into our science curriculum picks. We are supplementing our Build Your Library curriculum with the little hearts and hands fields and flowers, and that's pretty much this. We are doing like 1 lesson a week on Fridays, so that's pretty much what we're doing on our Fridays. So far we're like on worms. We're going to be doing that this Friday. It's going to be like lesson 20. I do supplement this with other like PDFs, printables, stuff like that. So this is something that we're supplementing our science with, but we're mainly using Build Your Library Level 0 for our science. We have a few books that we're actually going to be reading throughout the year. And the main thing that we're actually using for science is the National Geographic book. It's a super big book, so I'll show it to you guys right now. This is pretty much amazing because as we're going through the continents, we're learning about all the different animals that live there, and we also get to do like a science report where we pick an animal and learn more about it, like what it likes to eat, how it looks like as a baby, all that good stuff. Now here we have all our geography books. It has a great selection of books. Half of these we already read, the other half we're going to read this semester. You are also going to be learning about different parts of the world through food, which is super cool. We've done so many of these recipes. It's called Global Feast Cooking Class, and it's part of their geography unit. So this is amazing. We also have, I believe, 2 workbooks. This one is doing flags around the world through stickers. So this is just a great little one. It tells you when to pull it out, as well as the World Atlas facts and activity book. We've done at least half of it already, and it also has like a few different experiments in here. So it's like a cute little workbook that just supplements everything. Again, great books, great books. And one of the spines is the Children's Illustrated Atlas. So you're pretty much learning about what's in that continent, different foods, different places that usually it's well known for. And it's just a really great way to just learn actual geography through pictures and everything. And another way is to also learn through the children that live there. So every time we go through a country, we're learning about a child. We've learned different ways to say hello, which is great. You kind of learn how they live, who they live with, their favorite foods, what they like to do for hobbies, how they write your name, different ways to say hello. And this has been also like a great way to just like travel the world and just get a look at how other people look like and how they get to live. Another great resource, if you guys have little ones that love to draw, is Doodles Help Handwriting. We are going to be doing the capital letters just because this semester we are focusing on capital letters, and it pretty much tells you how to write or how to create a picture based off of like each letter and then what you're kind of drawing. So this is like the letter F. You end up making something with the letter F. We just completed over winter break the lowercase letters. My son had so much fun with like the letter C. You end up making like a little frog, and like the letter H, you end up making like a little skunk. So it's like a great way if you want to kind of like reinforce those like lowercase and uppercase handwriting letters, but through art. I also wanted to show you guys the Doodles Help Pre-Handwriting. This is like the first workbook that we did during pre-K with my son. And it's just pretty much, you end up like drawing something in 3 different steps. And then on the second page, you end up doing like a coloring page for each one. We ended up drawing everything on our little whiteboard, which is why there's nothing in here. Because I wanted him to be able to like draw it over and over again to kind of work on those shapes, those lines and everything. But this one's a great one. All the books from this author are amazing in case you guys want to look into it. And then actual handwriting. One thing I didn't mention is that Logic of English also teaches you about handwriting. And if you're looking for like some extra practice or you want to like review something over summer, this is something I would definitely recommend, especially because it has like the ability to work on those words. You know, you're able to kind of see it, how to actually draw it. It has like the little curves. It has that extra practice. So if you want to get something else to kind of like supplement that handwriting curriculum, this is something I would look into. Now, one of the last things I do want to share with you guys is our health curriculum. A lot of this is just extra stuff besides like your regular math, English, science, and history. I have so many different resources to just supplement and focus on the things that my son loves to do, like cooking and drawing and reading. And health is something that I felt was important in our home. It is like state specific. So I got the California ones, and pretty much you end up getting like a little newspaper for each week. And you kind of end up talking about it. And this is like the actual teacher manual. You can get like a PDF version, but they end up sending this to you in the mail as well. And we just end up, you know, talking about the newsletter, answering questions, going over some worksheets. This is something we did last year for pre-K, but I felt because, you know, he was like a late talker and everything, and we were still learning how to like read and understand certain things, I felt like I did this too soon with him. We still read everything, but we didn't do a lot of like the tasks. So this year we're actually doing all the tasks and just the extra worksheets. So it's a great way to kind of like review what he learned last year as well as make sure that he's understanding some things. I do hope this video is helpful for you guys. I have so many things right here, but I do have other resources that I didn't end up sharing with you guys just because it's all filed and put away. But core subjects wise, this is everything that I have, everything that we're currently using. I am, like I said, using a lot of extra supplemental things just because I know every child is different. My son needs extra focus and extra attention on certain things, which is why I have so much of something and so much of like things that he loves, like art. So it's totally up to you guys what you guys want to do, but let me know what you guys think, if you guys have tried any of this curriculum or what you guys recommend.